Welcome to St. Petersburg, Florida, where Remy Lebeau is on pole from Revo and Nicholas Palomino. Sigmund, he starts fourth from Chris Cornwell, making his first Formula E start. UK Ball is sixth from Salos Kynes, and Oinkro Ezra, the Red Devil, starts ninth as one of the four title contenders, and Daf Sanchez rounds out the top 10. Good boy, 11th from Linus Eriksson and Casper Lebeau. And then it's Charles Hernandez, Daniel Bogdasarov, David 12. You are passing 17th from Marcus Nelson. Sebastian Ocampo alongside him, Ian Babinis Jr., Awful Catfish, and Enoch Yu. And with that, it's finally time for the final round of this Formula E season. All 5 lights go on in Florida, and we are underway for the first ever St. Petersburg ePrix. And it's a great start off the line from the 7 of Revo under the lights, trying to stay alongside with Remy Lebeau, and he manages to do so, breaking it down into turn number 1 in this double points finale. The 5-time Formula E champion holds on to the race lead as the man going for his second title holds it alongside him. It's a beautiful track here in Florida as Remy Lebeau has just taken the lead. We look to Revo in that 7 then as they make their way heading down into the second sector. It's been a very, very great season so far, and it's a great start for Ash Cornwell. Chris Cornwell is now known as there goes down the inside for Revo. Casper Lebeau came into this race 3 points off the back of the Italian. He's down in 13th now with a 5-second time penalty. Double points can mean quite a lot in this race. And Lebeau's just dropped down to 14th place. On board we are with the rookie, the Season 2 FG Series champion, having a very great time of it so far. As you can see, Remy Lebeau, he wants another championship. He wins this race in front of Revo, and he's going to get it. He needs 12 points to take it as they're side by side coming through the penultimate corner. And the Frenchman just not quite got the pace yet. As they come through the final turn, it's Revo who leads from Lebeau, Palomino, and Cornwell. Chris Cornwell scoring points today on behalf of Versio, we believe. Of course, we will see that for real at the end of this telecast. But a 12-lap sprint to the end of this championship. This is what it's all about, really. We're on board once again with Remy Lebeau. He's the man really trying to fight his way into this title battle. The Red Devil, on the outskirts of title contention, came into this race on 99 points. He needed 95 to stay in contention. Lebeau, Casper Lebeau, came into this race second in points, and he's not even scoring any. He came in 3 points behind Revo. The fact that he doesn't have fan boost and the technical innovations that all the other teams aside from the new Amlin Aguirre have been making, that's probably why we've seen that fall off in that Amlin Aguirre car quite recently. But for Casper, it was just an issue in qualifying that saw him not make the top 10. And yes, I am dealing with a throat bug. Lebeau, that's Remy Lebeau this time, losing a bit of time to the 93 of Nicholas Palomino, who gets past him almost. That's a very late lunge from Remy Lebeau there. But he has to hold it. He has to hold himself, wait for the opportunity. The rear wing opens up. That's how you know someone's in attack mode. He's closing. He's closing. He's going to have the outside here. Is he going to try and make the pass around the outside? He can't. He doesn't have the grip to do so. Into the pits for the top 2. And then also Chris Cornwell diving down into pit lane. Nicholas Palomino, your race leader, as many drivers now diving down into the pits. Yellow walled, medium compound tires. This is the final season, the final race with Formula E using the Michelins, and wow, that was a brilliant pit stop from Red Bull Sims. Amlin Aguirre had a much better one. Cornwell leads the drivers who have come down into pit lane from Lebeau and Revo, as Ocampo now getting a time penalty for causing a collision. What we expect to see from this race is a 3-stop strategy. If you can build up a gap, then you might be able to get away with doing a 2-stop with a puncture on the final lap. But unbelievable races, the past 2 races we've seen in this ERL Formula E series. Versio, of course, breaking a leg and his collarbone in that crash in Vienna. So Amlin Aguirre fielding in Chris Cornwell for this race, and seemingly this race alone, because from what we hear, recovery's been going good. He's Versio likely still going to be injured for the first few tests, but he should be fine for the first round of Season 28. And, you know, just look at the surroundings here. It's absolutely beautiful, brilliant from what Marco Perske's been able to do for the new version of Monoposto, which will be coming out very soon, as now most of the drivers yet to make their stops come in. Charles Hernandez staying out at 17%. That's a big problem as we begin lap 4 of 12, a third of the way through this race. Babinus Jr. Not Q, and Puff behind him. Cornwell is going to be 6th here. There's Revo making the pass on Remy Leboeuf. That's good for his championship outlook. He's won a championship 5 times, the most of anyone on this grid. Leboeuf's trying to make it into the 2-timer club. Meanwhile, Cornwell's just happy to be here. It's rare that we've seen a driver win in their debut season. Cornwell's teammate has done that across all of the categories that he's driven in. And in fact, Cornwell himself has done that. It's also rare to see a driver win on debut, but if Amlin and Curie can get their strategy right today, I feel like we're going to have a new British race winner in the ERL Formula E Series. Considering his ties to Hyperdrive Racing, he has expressed that he wants to stay in the Champ Car World Series next season, but he might be offered the drive in Formula E to be partnered alongside Revo. And oh, we got yellows. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's Babinus Jr. with a full car puncture. Contact with Remy Leboeuf, that seems to have been. Hernandez is dropping down the order as well, so he's got tire problems too. On lap 4 of 12. Oh, that's Sigmund further up. Big slide for Hernandez and for Sigmund, who's now facing backwards. And that is Remy Leboeuf. Oh no! Oh dear! Oh my god! Oh no! Oh dear. Cautions come out on lap 4 of 12. Oh, that's terrible. Babinus Jr., your boy, Onkro Ezra and Baltasar have all taken out in that wreck. That terrible wreck there. Remy Leboeuf held up by it, so now the championship outlook looking dire for him. Into the pits for Revo, he's going on to the softs for his second stop. Cornwell also comes into the pits. A lot of drivers making their pit stops now. The 2 Red Bull Sims drivers staying out, trying to skip this one. The Red Devil on the back, trying to get past his teammate back in seasons 20 through 22 when they were at Kiro Raceco, the team that's now known as Jaguar Martini Racing, as we go on board with the 26, trying to make it a 1-2 for Red Bull Sims Racing. And he gets the lunge on the other Red Bull Sims champion, but he loses time and has to drop back down to 4th. His son also suffering with that 5-second time penalty hanging over his head. We now know the limits of these tires. And that was just one car having a puncture there that triggered that unbelievable chain of events. I sincerely hope that we don't see anything like that at the end of this race. As you can see, Cornwell going side by side and in front of Remy Leboeuf. I don't know what they've put in that 38. I don't know what they've put in that 38. Maybe it's just Cornwell himself or themselves who have just absolutely got on with it, understanding the new car for him. He would have been driving this car next season if he stayed in FG, but he's decided to drive the ERL 03s. He's up to 2nd already. The boy is flying. This is the fastest man on track for sure. I don't think there's any denying it. If Cornwell doesn't win this race, if Cornwell doesn't win in what could be his only Formula E start for quite a few seasons, that would be a massive disappointment. We reach half race distance as Palomino dives down into the pits. In this exciting title decider in this Formula E World Series, we go on board with Revo. He's being held up by a not Q. And look at that, that's David 12 as well. David 12, the other rookie on the grid, could be shown up by Ash Cornwell today. There goes Revo up to 5th. Is that not quite? He's in front of Remy Leboeuf, who has got some very, very worn medium compound tyres. The tyres themselves will change next season in terms of their colours. But look at that for Remy, certainly struggling. And you can see him in 4th, side by side with U-Cable. There were rumours earlier in the Hong Kong driver's career that he could be moving to Power Motorsport. Instead, he went to Team Edam's Renaults. Look at that, almost around the outside. For Revo, we go on board with car number 7, heading down through this second sector. Cornwell still your leader at half race distance. And can Revo find the pass using attack mode? Well, you bet he can. Holds it side by side. I don't know if he's going to get it for the back stretch. Here they come, coming to the detection point. The Red Devil in front of Revo, but I doubt the Italian is too worried about him, because for the Red Devil, it is a must-win situation. There goes to 25, trying to hold it around the outside of Revo, holding it side by side now. And it's the Italian who comes out in front. The Red Devil dives down into the pits. It's the fastest second sector for Casper Lebeau. He's known for setting some very quick lap times and sector times in FG and even here, but in Formula E, no point scored for that. As an OQ trying to go side by side, trying to make the pass on Revo. It looks like Red Bull Sims have tried to do an offset strategy here, but I don't think it's going to work. Almost a bit of contact between an OQ and Revo. And with 5 laps to go, the ERL could be seeing history being made once again. It has been 10 seasons since we last saw one man take 2 consecutive championships. That was Revo in the ERL 01s, taking his first championship in Season 16 and going back-to-back with the Season 17 championship. After that, he took 3 more championships to his name, but all of those came sporadically. Season 23, 20, and 26. He's trying to get 27 as well. For the man in the 7, a 6th championship could mean quite a lot. And it would put him even further out of reach. As we're on board with Casper Lebeau, who today just hasn't seemed to have the pace that we saw in the early, mid, and even the past handful of races. He won last time out in Vienna. His teammate, his new teammate, leads the way. The 2 ace champions driving for Amla Naguri into the pits for Cornwell. We could see Revo and Enoch follow him in, and we do see them come into the pits. So Scotland's Ewa Puff will now lead, heading on to lap 8 of 12. Very little time left for Red Bull Sims, for Amla Naguri, and for Jaguar Martini to try and snatch the championship away from Hyperdrive Racing's man. Just a reminder of how they came into this race. 144 points for Revo, 141 for Casper Lebeau, 132 for Remy Lebeau, and 99 for the Red Devil. With 50 points on offer, the Red Devil was barely in the title hunt. Heading into this, in this position, your World Drivers' Champion would currently be Revo, with Casper Lebeau only scoring 1 point. It would draw him, it would be 2 points, sorry. It would mean that the difference would be 1, of course. As Staff Sanchez cleared by Ash Cornwell, the Champ Car World Series champion in Season 5, not able to get the inroad and in fact losing a lot of time. That's how much grip can mean, as Revo's out there on a set of softs. That could be a smart move from Northern Hyperdrive just to consolidate grip, as Revo putting what could be the final nail in the coffin for Casper Lebeau's title chances. Casper, this is going to go down as quite possibly the single greatest rookie campaign in quite some time in the ERL. The closest a driver has gotten to winning the championship in their rookie season in Formula E. However, it's just not enough. It is just not enough, as we've got yellows in Sector 3. Who's that for? I can't quite see. As into the pits there for many a driver. What has caused the yellow? Is it Daf Sanchez or is it Salas Kynes? Can't quite tell. I'll be reporting that camera angle to Marco. As you can see, U-Cable getting in front of Arthur Catfish. On board we go with David 12 going side by side with Malaysia's World Drivers Champion. And look at that, they keep it as clean as they humanly can, but almost hitting the barriers there. You can see Revo now holding it side by side with 12 as the Red Devil moves up into the race lead. Now, if Revo was outside of the top 9, that would be big news for the title. But as it stands, Revo's running up in 3rd. It'd move the Dutchman far up the order, but he's still dueling with a hard-charging and a hungry British driver. Chris Cornwell reclaims the race lead with all but 3 laps to go. We're going to see some of the final stops, I'm sure, in the coming laps. Expect the last stops around lap 10. As you can see, Marcus Nelson now going side by side, almost touching wheels. Please don't touch wheels, guys. Keep it as clean as you humanly can. As we go on board with that number 13 again. These two former teammates, of course. They were both in the top 3 back in season 20, and Nelson wants to show Revo what's what, taking 3rd place away from the Italian. But he dives down into the pits. Who's that in pit lane as well? It's the Red Devil. Cornwell leads on lap 10 of 12. Revo 2nd from Enoch Hugh, who's come from the very back of the pack to 3rd on lap 10. Initially, we were scheduled to have a race in Hong Kong this season, but that just didn't come to fruition as Nicholas Palomino up to P4. You were Puff and Awful Catfish then fighting over 5th place. Remy LeBeau down in 8th. He'd be gaining points on his son, but he wouldn't even be able to get past him in the championship. We go on board with Casper LeBeau as he tries to hold it side by side with Marcus Nelson. Again, we still expect another stop to be made in this race for many drivers, and especially Awful Catfish, who's at 15% on his set of hards. Nicholas Palomino, fastest opening sector in 4th position. He's not fighting for the championship today. He's fighting for his team, Red Bull Sims, their championship hopes. And you can say the same for Amlin Aguirre. Neither championship is quite over yet. We'll have the official championship standings for both the drivers and constructors after the race officially ends, after the podium ceremony, as we did in Champ Car. We can only give you the provisional World Drivers' Champion here live. I'm definitely going to need to take some cough drops after today. On to the penultimate lap we go with Chris Cornwell. 19% for Revo on this penultimate lap as well. He's cutting it very close. Can he make it to the end and take his 6th World Drivers' Championship? Well, we're only going to be able to find out once the checkered flag falls. It's going to be very close. Hearing on the radio, a lot of drivers being told to manage their tires. We're hearing this from Red Bull Sims as it's side by side there between Palomino and Puff. Revo's not a stranger to winning championships without winning a race. For Chris Cornwell, what a way to state your claim to the ERL's throne. Side by side between Puff and Enoch Hugh. The two U's, I guess you could say. But the more experienced of the two, the non-champion of the two, holding on to 3rd place. Remember, Enoch Hugh debuted in Season 6 of the Formula E Series. Puff debuted in Season 1 of the IndyCar Series, and then moved over to Formula E, took his first championship, the first championship for a Scotsman in Season 24. But after that, Jaguar just hasn't been able to give him the material he needs. These guys now chasing after Revo as he's struggling with his set of softs, 14%. How much is tire management going to help him? Remy LeBeau in 10th, so that'd be 2 points for him. It's going to be a massive points haul for Revo, who would, as it stands, be a 6-time Formula E World Champion. There goes Palomino, up to 4th place. Puff in the 9. Holding clear, ready to try and make the pass. If he can, we go on to the final lap here in St. Petersburg, Florida. Ash Cornwell leads this. Puff going side by side with Revo. Can he make the lunge? He can! That's 2nd place for the Season 24 champion. Had he had a better season all around, that could have helped him quite a bit. David 12 with the fastest lap of this race. Revo trying to hold off from Nico Palomino. They hold it indeed. Palomino up into P3. As it stands, Revo would be off the podium, but still scoring that elusive 6th championship and becoming the first man to take 2 consecutive championships since himself back in season 16 and 17 for Chris Cornwell, after taking the FG Series championship at the very last opportunity away from his teammate in in Manila. Now he's got the opportunity to take his first Formula E race win today. Let's take a look at Catfish. How his tyres doing that? He's hit 0. Catfish hit 0 going down into turn 10. Remy LeBeau at 4%. The tyre management seemingly working to keep those tyres alive for all of these guys. It's shocking how they've kept them alive despite them flashing 0. Puff trying to take this race win away from the rookie Chris Cornwell, who has controlled this race since he took the lead earlier on. Coming through the final corner, this could be the closest finish, and it's a better exit for the Jaguar driver. To the line they go. It's gonna be Puff taking victory in St. Pete, and Revo is now a 6-time Formula E World Drivers' Champion with 5th in St. Petersburg. They all tried to fight him. They fought the good fight. It wasn't enough. And it looks like R16 and Catfish had a bit of contact as well. And with that, season 27 comes to a close. Unbelievable scenes today. The Red Devil scoring a 4th place. Magnificent for him as well. That'll surely bump him up the order. And by 0.3 of a second, Chris Cornwell was unable to take that first race win today. Look at the margin between 3rd and 4th though. It's 1,000th of a second between Palomino and the Red Devil. That's the closest finish between positions ever. That's as close as you can get. Well, we certainly had a faux loco finish. In fact, after taking a look at the images, the Red Devil has been awarded with 3rd place. Puff taking victory from Chris Cornwell and the Red Devil. It's a 1-3 for Jaguar Racing today, which helps them substantially. As for the rest of your finishes, then, you're going to see the same graphics that we saw in the final Champ Car World Series race. Palomino 4th from Revo and Enoch Hugh. Then it's Marcus Nelson, Salos Kynes, Hugh Cable, and David 12, the top 10. Outside of it, Sanchez from Hernandez, LeBeau, Sigmund Ocampo, Remy LeBeau, R16 and Catfish, with the non-finishers all coming on lap 4. Those, of course, being Ezra, Babinus Jr., your boy, and Bogdasarov. And taking into account the double points, here are the official driver's standings. Revo, your champion from Casper LeBeau and Remy LeBeau. The Red Devil having a solid outing today, puts himself into the 100 club with 4th place in standings. Palomino 5th from Awful Catfish and Puff. Then it's versus Theo, Daph Sanchez, Hugh Cable, Daniel Bogdasarov, R16, Ocampo, Hernandez, Babinus Jr., Enoch Hugh, Salos Kynes, David 12, the relief driver in Ash, or Chris Cornwell if you prefer, Marcus Nelson, Sigmund, your boy, and Oinkro Ezra. In the constructor standings, Amlin Aguri Formula E in their first season back. They are your Constructors Champions, 13 points up on Nord Hyperdrive Formula E. Red Bull Sims Racing 3rd from Jaguar Martini and Monster Energy Power Motorsport. Edam Zrano 6th from Mercedes EQ and Ready Autosport. Next EV TCR, Dragon Racing Formula E, and Rocket Venturi Racing. Well, talk about a hectic final round of the championship and a final race for Formula E with the ERL O2s. We'll have some promotional videos going out quite soon. Don't expect any new races for quite some time, as I'm trying to reorganize everything about myself. But I really hope that you have enjoyed these past few races in the FG Series, the Champ Car World Series, and the Formula E World Series. Formula Nippon next season will not be broadcast on Sparkplug Motorsports. It will be broadcast on C29, I believe, only in Spanish. Hopefully we will get an English dub for that. I will tell you guys more about that when we get closer to the time for that. But that is all we have time for today with our broadcast of the ERL Formula E World Series 27. Revo, now a 6-time World Drivers' Champion, heading into the ERL 03 era. Can he keep that up? You'll have to stay here on Sparkplug Motorsport 2 and Sparkplug Motorsport News, but more importantly, Sparkplug Motorsport 1, this channel that you are currently on. Thank you so much for watching our coverage of the Electric Racing League, and we will see you guys next time then when the ERL, Formula E, FG, and Champ Car World Series return.